Hi everyone, my name is Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. So today's session is going to be on activating the past memory of your friend in a dementia unit. So we're going back to the friend who's helping Trina, her now resident friend in a dementia unit, and how she's going to help her with past memory. Okay, so the friend has helped. Trina's been in the unit for 12 months now. She's 81, as is her good friend. And her good friend has actually helped Trina in all aspects of this move, both in terms of, you know, what to take into the unit, setting up the room, setting her up at the unit to make, you know, helping her make friends, socializing, the whole thing. Other friends have abandoned them, but never mind. Their 2 friends from way back have, you know, say they'll visit but never do. So it's really down to the friend and Trina, because Trina's unmarried and no children of any kind. Well, no children, yeah, of any kind. Well, I mean, there is only one kind, but anyway. So the friend goes in and Trina's at the newspaper reading. So she just sits and waits until the newspaper reading's over, sits by her and listens to all of that. Then after that, she says, "Oh, Trina, oh, good to see you, and how are you," and all that. Trina, "Oh, fine, thank you." She's become a bit quieter now. She's not quite as buoyant as she used to be. Quite good, thank you. And so the friend says, okay, so should we do our newspaper reading? You know, you've had your newspaper reading with the group. Do you want us to read it together like we often do? "Oh, yes, that would be good." So you get a little, thankfully, there's a spare sunny window seat. Always look out for that. So the friend goes to the window seat, gets the 2 seats set up. She's got the newspaper because she organised for Trina to get the subscription back of the newspaper. So it's delivered daily. Very good idea. And thankfully that's activated. So they sit together, read the newspaper together. So Trina can read the headlines and, you know, large print, but not really the small print, but she can pick up enough with the headline and the photo, and you can just sort of ad-lib a bit and fill her in, because as the friend, you read the newspaper each day with your morning cup of coffee, always have, as Trina always has. And so that way you know, keep up with the news. Okay, so today it is wet and windy, terrible weather. And so you decide not to go for a walk. And so you say, "Oh, Trina, it's terrible weather up there. I don't think it's a good idea for a walk." "Oh, no, I don't like going in the wet and cold and freezing weather. We'll go the next day, it's sunny." And the friend asks Trina, "Okay, so what about the photograph albums? Shall we get those out?" "Oh, yes, good idea." So you've kept a couple of photograph albums in the bureau in Trina's room, the ones that aren't quite so precious, because, you know, they can go missing and photographs can get torn and ripped by anyone coming into the room and delving around. But you've kept 2 there, you know, to be on hand, and then the more precious ones you've actually kept at your place. So anyway, you say, "Oh, Trina, just stay here in the window seat here. I'll put my bag on this chair just to save the seats. I'll go and get the photograph album and we'll go through it." So you bring back that and you go to the most impressionable trip, which was actually the one that Trina always remembers, Mount Egmont. The trip to Mount Egmont in the North Island. Yes, that was wonderful. 17 years old you both were. You went up to the North Island to the favourite auntie's place, stayed there and tramped up to the top of Mount Egmont, a true feat. With and so you bring out the photograph album and you know, show the pictures to Trina, and she's "Oh God, that's such a beautiful mountain. I just love the way that lovely shape, and I do remember climbing that mountain with you, and it was very difficult." And actually it was very difficult because the mountain is very steep towards the top, and it takes a good, you know, and the friend explains, "Well, yes, it is very difficult. Very difficult. I mean, it actually took us 6 hours to get to the top of that mountain. We had to start really early. Oh yes, I remember that. It was about 5 o'clock, dark, when we had to get up, even though it was summer. Oh, okay, so she remembered that. Interesting. Okay, so getting up, and do you remember getting to the top of the mountain? Oh yes, I do remember it at the top of that mountain. It was just beautiful, and I remember how difficult it was getting up to the very top. You kept slipping back all the time. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, Trina. It was very, very difficult getting to the top, but we were fit and strong then, weren't we? Yes, we were. We used to love tramping and going through the lovely, beautiful bush of New Zealand. You know, and I still wish I could do it, but I'm just not quite up to it now. But I do like Sumner and going for our walks on the beach. Yes, indeed, she does like that. Okay, so anyway, that's one photo of Mount Egmont, and you can, work on that photograph. You can work on that photograph, and the experiences you've had with all your tramping trips, and the South Island tramping trips, and you used to enjoy, going into the native bush there and visiting the huts, and, which trees you liked, and, the kauri, the totara, the rimu, whichever, and the kiwis and the birds and the beautiful birds in the native bush and the tuis, and, you just create a whole beautiful big story out of one Mount Egmont picture, really. And this way, Trina, her memory comes back, she enjoys it, she communicates, she's confident, she's conversing well, just like the old days. And so this is how the cognition really, ramps up. And you can talk to Trina that way, as you normally would, practically. So this is very empowering for the person that has dementia, because in that way they can converse, they can communicate, they can find the words, they can remember. And it's all good, to get the communication channels, the cognition channels, the thinking channels, everything running. And then you can start working more towards, so that was when you were younger, then you can work towards, say, in your 30s or 40s, still the photograph albums. You can work on, those photographs from, remember when we went to the West Coast, Trina? Look at these photos. This was just when we were in our 30s. Oh yes, I remember that, the Rootburn track, I remember that in Fiordland. Right, okay. The beautiful green blue lakes and those high mountains and glorious scenery. Yes, exactly, Trina, that's right. You've got good memory for that too. So then you discuss all that, and then of course, it is totally stunning. And actually, if your photographs are a bit grainy, sometimes are back from that era, then you can get a nice New Zealand photograph book, of all the beautiful photographs of New Zealand South Island scenery, and sort of match that with the photograph album, so it's more picturesque, colourful, and, bigger and brighter, so to speak. So that's just one way of being able to bring the past memory back, in a very effective one. And of course, South Island scenery is so utterly spectacular. For those of you that have seen The Hobbit and, all those marvellous movies that the Weta Workshop did, Michael, Peter Jackson movies, fantastic. So in the same way, New Zealanders all love South Island scenery just as much as the world does. And it's good activating past memory fodder for people with dementia to click into. Most dementia residents can, especially those in New Zealand and the South Island who have loved the outdoors, which so many of us do. So that's just one example of past memory, activating past memory, and what you can do, and just substitute, experiences that you have had with your friend overseas, in the great outdoors, whatever great outdoors there are in your country that's applicable for you to be able to converse with. So thank you for your likes and subscriptions and your help, and please pass on information to friends. Please subscribe if you're viewing these videos, because it really helps get this platform up and running. But mainly thank you for your support for this dementia work. Thank you.